Hello everyone. Now something very strange seems to be happening in the world of Destiny, and it could actually be the start of a really big community event, a la the Season of the Dawning. You remember the one through the corridors of time with those massive replicating puzzles that it took the entire community ages to try and solve? Well, we could be in the very early stages of such a thing. Now then, how did this all begin? Well, first of all, I was looking through Reddit as I normally do every day to see what's going down, and there's a person called Ripcall7. Now they were looking at a particular 4K wallpaper on the Bungie website. It's the one with the lone guardian sitting in the snow with a pyramid in the background. But if you take a look in the top left hand corner, there's something very definite there. It's kind of like, it looks like a maze or a puzzle or part of some kind of code, but it's definitely there. It's not an aberration. It's been put there deliberately. Look how obvious it is. Now, if you want to check for yourself, go to the Bungie website and then click on the Beyond Light part of their website. Go to Media on the end there, and then scroll down to the bottom and you will see the wallpapers in 4K, and the one you want, of course, is the one with the Guardian sitting in the middle underneath the pyramid with Jupiter in the background. You can see it's the first one on the list there. So what is this thing? Well, basically, nobody knows, but I tell you what, there's been some incredible theories put forward, and it blew my tiny mind when I started reading through the theories of what these people have as to what this thing may be. Now, this is on the Raid Secrets Reddit, and if you're not a member, I recommend you go and have a look there because it's bonkers and fantastic and shows you all this really cool stuff. Now, someone called Ash's Win was obviously looking at Ripcall's initial post about finding this artifact, I suppose you could call it, in the corner of the 4K wallpaper, and they propose it's something to do with the Game of Flowers. Now, the Game of Flowers is mentioned in a lore entry in a particular lore book called The Unveiling, and if I just quickly go over the entry called The Flower Game from that lore book, it says, "These are the rules of a game. Let it be played upon an infinite two-dimensional grid of flowers. There's 4 rules. Rule 1, a living flower with less than 2 living neighbours is cut off, it dies. Rule 2, a living flower with 2 or 3 living neighbours is connected, it lives. Rule 3, a living flower with more than 3 living neighbours is starved and overcrowded, it dies. And rule 4, a dead flower with exactly 3 living neighbours is reborn, it springs back to life. And the only permitted play in the game is the arrangement of the initial flowers." What this basically means is that there's an initial pattern laid down on the grid, and it goes through an algorithm which plays out those 4 rules until there's no more changes. Now, this flower game isn't a construct of Bungie, it's not something that they've made up. It is actually something that exists in the scientific world, created by a mathematician called John Horton Conway. Go and check it out on Wikipedia, and you'll see this is a genuine thing. Now, don't ask me how people do these kinds of things. They're obviously far cleverer than I am. But what they've done is create a little computer program to run this simulation using the pattern in the corner of the 4K wallpaper to get to an end point. Now, if you follow my link in the description below to the subreddit, there's actually a link to a GIF that is going through the little computer program, and you can see that we end up with a pattern. Now, nobody knows what this pattern's for. It could be overlaid onto a map as markers. It could be a maze. Some people postulate it could be a star chart. But whatever it is, it's definitely connected to this image from the 4K wallpaper, and it's obviously connected to the flower game in some way as well. I mean, the connections just seem so strong and so obvious. Now, of course, this might not be anything at all, because you see, this could be the start of a gun. Maybe it's linked to the Ascendant Lens. My god, I'm going completely spin foil hat theory now, governor. But it could be. Who knows what it's for? But I wager this is the start of something. It's too obviously placed on that 4K wallpaper to be a cock-up or some kind of mistake. And of course, I'm going to leave links in the description below so you can go and have a look at the 2 different Reddit threads and make up your own minds. But by gosh, there's thousands of comments on each of them by now, so people are taking this seriously, and it does seem to be the start of something. Now, talking for the lore entries for the Unveiling book, if you haven't got them yourself yet, you can pop over to the Ishtar Collective website, and that's got all the lore books all compiled there, so you can have a good old read of everything, so you haven't picked anything up in the game. And I really recommend you go and read this Unveiling lore book, because it's just the start of the Destiny universe. It's basically what we're fighting. It kind of explains what the darkness is. It kind of explains almost really what the Traveller is. Is he the gardener? Is she the gardener? Are they the gardener? What are they all? Anyway, that's me done for this video. Pop off, read all this stuff, come back and squirt your jabberings in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall jabber in your ears again very soon. Sausage out.